So hey y'all, I've got this new Viva La Mexico pack coming out, and I wanted to show you guys how you can use it. This Eagle and Snake PNG right here is 7,400 pixels by 9,700 pixels tall. That's about 32 inches at 300 DPI, and you could go 3 times that scale at 72, which is the resolution of the rest of the stuff that I'm putting out here. We've got the waving flag traditional. There's a cloth texture to it. We've got another set that looks just like that with the same cloth texture. And what I wanted to do was something a little more artistic, where I took just the colors and then added this eagle and the snake and made it so that you could customize it to fit a tailgate or a rear window or a truck wrap or whatever it is that you want to do. And like I said, this eagle and snake, it'll go up to 100 inches tall without any distortion. It's beautiful. And same with these. So here, let's just pop one of these open real quick. I'll tell you how big this flag is. 216 by 122 at 72. So this would fit on it perfectly and print absolutely huge. This one here is 216 by 75 inches tall. And so if you wanted to go down the side of a vehicle or something and you wanted to make the top edge of this like the top of a partial wrap or something to that effect, I actually made a cut contour to fit all of these things, and so you'll be able to do exactly what it is that you need to do. And what we're going to go through today is me showing you, sorry, that's my recording software, is me showing you how to actually put this stuff together. So I'm just going to get a new document here, 225 by 225. It's about as big as the canvas goes, and I wanted to make sure that it was big enough for these flags to fit in here, and that's why I made it so big. And so first thing I'm going to do is drag this Eagle PNG in here and go ahead and click embed. I'm in Illustrator, by the way. And so if you come in here and look, Photoshop put kind of a chunky stroke on this, and so what I did was make a cut contour that's going to fix that. So this is just a little overprint, and it doesn't matter if you want to use this as a standalone graphic and just print it or overlay it with something. You're going to want to use the cut contour to knock that stroke off, and I'll show you why it looks a lot better. The first thing we're going to do is also embed this, and then what I want to do is come in here and ungroup it, and while it's still selected, we're going to come down here and make sure it's a compound, and then I will align both of these center, and then what I'm going to do is create a clipping mask, and this is the vector that cuts it out, and it smooths out all the little rough edges for the overprint. And so if you want to overlay this with something, you're going to want to use the clipping mask in order to make this happen. Now, here's what has to happen. Because I'm going to overlay this on a flag, and we still have to have the overprint for the eagle. Here, I'll show you what I'm going to mock up real quick. It's going to look something like, I'm going to shrink this way down. And like I said, that eagle will go 3 times the size that it is because it's not at the same resolution. It's at 300 instead of 72. As far as interpolation goes, there's no pixels being added or taken away. And so essentially what we're doing is this is now going to be 300 DPI. And so I'm going to arrange this to the front. And so this is essentially what we're looking for, is something like this. And so because there's a cut contour to this flag, and there's also a cut contour to this, we're going to need an overprint on both. And we're also going to want this to print well over the top of the flag. And so I'm going to have to add another version of this eagle back behind in order for it to line up correctly. And so I'm going to make a copy of that. I just held alternate and dragged out my own copy. And I'm going to go to my clipping mask and I'm going to release it. And then what I want to do is take that vector and get rid of it. And then I'm going to take this eagle and send that. Whoops. I'm going to send it to the back. And then what I want to do is align all of these 3 images, because we got to keep the cut contour aligned with the eagle, but we also need the overprint up here, and that's why we put it behind the flag. You see what I mean there? Now, there's another thing that we need to do. Whoop, Control V. We need to take this path right here and create another copy, and then I'm going to release the clipping mask again. There's faster ways to do this, but I'm going to get rid of the PNG there, and essentially what we need is this to be lined up with all of these, and we're going to send it all the way to the back, and then we're going to lock it. And I want to make sure that I have all of these aligned at the same time, and then I'm going to click this and then send it to the back, and then I'm going to lock it. And so now that can't move. Sorry, my phone's ringing. And essentially what I need is to have that cut path back in the very rear, and we're just going to leave it back there, and then we're going to import the cut path for the flag, and we're going to arrange those in a way that is going to match this, okay? And so because I didn't bring the cut path in with the flag and shrink it at the same time, they're not going to match up. So I got to get rid of that. And then what we're going to do is bring in both of these at the same time. And there's been a glitch that I've messed with here in Illustrator. Yep, it's not happening right now. But sometimes the cut path will not come in at the same scale. And what you end up having is, what you end up having is your cut path not coming in at the right size. And if that happens to you, you need to open up a new document, or just file open the image, and then you can copy it and paste it into your working document. And always and forever, don't work on the original. Okay, so we've got that ungrouped. And if I click this, it's going to bring it to solid, because it thinks that this square is behind it, and I think that's because I just like dragged it into the program. And so if you look at this here, I'll open it. We'll go to my desktop. And we'll view the large icons. And so if I click this now, you can see it's coming up a solid color. It's because I didn't drag it into the program, and this is the glitch that I was talking about, that it does weird stuff. And so if I just copy this and then close it, then I can paste it in here, and we're golden. We're not having any issues. And so, and again, this is going to be the cut contour for the eagle and the flag. And so what we need to do is arrange this just like it's supposed to be, and also scale everything proportionately. And so I'm going to select both of those, and then I'm going to move this object, arrange. I'm going to send it backward 1, and then I'm going to group this. And the reason why is because I want these to stay together until I'm ready for them to come apart. Whoops, I accidentally hit alternate to zoom, and it created a copy for me. So object, arrange, send to back. And so what I did right there was I sent this all the way to the back. And if you remember, there's actually a cut contour right there, and that was supposed to be at the back. And so I just stepped back a couple of times after I moved those. What we're going for here is a look where both the top and the bottom hang over. And so I can do this any way that I want to because of how much I've shrunk it down. This can be any way that you want. I think that looks pretty good. And we can move this over just a hair. And so what needs to happen is that I need to make sure that my layer order is correct. And so I'm going to ungroup this now that we've changed the scale. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to zoom in and just remember we had this one layer that was masked. So now that I have just the flag selected, I can go up here to object and I'm going to arrange that and I'm going to bring it forward 1. And that should create the, nope, I need to bring it forward again. Yep, there it is. And now you can see that the cut contour line is going to match up perfectly with the overprint that is on the flag. And so now what we need to do is take and select this and the print file for the flag, and we're going to lock those. And the next thing that we get should be just the cut contours. Whoops, there's the overprint too. So I need to come in here and I'm going to edit, undo lock, right? And then I'm going to select this also. And then when I lock these layers, that's the overprint that we just selected. And so now anything that I grab should be just the cut contour. Whoops. Yep, so I locked it also. Object, unlock all. And so now what I have to do is come in here and try to very carefully select just the, there we go. And then I can get this print file, and then I can get this print file, and then we'll lock those. That's just the selection that we're locking. And so now there's going to be our cut file. Is to know that I have these separated. This is all of our print. And if you come in here and look, you can see the overprint that we have. And when I come back in and line up this cut file, it should land perfect, and then also give you plenty of trim around everything and make it exactly like it's supposed to be. And so I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to make sure that they're ungrouped, and I'm also going to make sure that the compound path is released. Or excuse me, I'm going to make sure that the compound path is still made from the original that we did. And then I'm going to go to my pathfinder here, and I'm going to merge both those shapes. And so now we're down to one actual path. And if we come down here, there's a compound that we can release. And you see how it takes out that little negative space right there? Object. We're going to come back here and make the compound path so that everything's perfect. Now that can be labeled a cut contour at this point, and you can do whatever it is that you need to do with it. For now, I'm just going to realign these, and I'm not sure why that is going on. Object. Oh. So I had to unlock that stuff. And so what I'm going to do now is take this and make it a group. And that way, whenever I try to align these two things, so this is our cut file, this is our print file. And now that I've grouped these together and unlocked them, because we had done that, the files can be realigned. And that it was aligning itself to the center of the screen. as opposed to where it was supposed to be. And if you come in here and look, you're going to have a perfect bleed, and you'll be just inside the flag all the way around, and you'll also have a nice clean edge on your eagle. And so that's how you do it, guys. And I'm going to save this out. I'm actually going to do it on the ripped flag that I have too, because I'm including a rip in this. It looks like that. And what I'm essentially going to do, object, okay, here I'll show you. It's going to look something like this. Embed object. We're going to send this to the back, and then what we can do with this is bring it in like that, and then I'm just going to select both of these here and create a clipping mask so you see what it's going to look like when it's done. And then you can put the eagle in front of that, and this will be your cut contour. If we step back just a second, what I can do is come in here, and what you really need to do with this rip is to offset the path, and it doesn't really have to be that much depending on how big it is. Like you could, like a 1/4 inch is plenty. And now you've got a larger section, and so you're going to use that and to create your clipping mask, and then you've got this vector that lays over the top that is your cut path. And so you've got, you know, something that's going to print and cut, not waste too much ink, and then but anyway, I'm going to stick the eagle over the top of that. And well, I've already grouped all this stuff. I'm going to leave it like this because this is a good production file right now. But essentially, I'm going to stick the eagle over this, and you'll see it in the advertisements if you want. And anyways, if you made it this far, thanks for watching.